Dante, can I call you Dante? Too late, nigga, I already did. Look, this whole name change thing, I respect it, but until you drop an album that fucking says that name on the goddamn title, we will remain calling you your original shit because that's who you are in our hearts. What's going on, everybody? It's the Granddad Wooly, and you are here again for another edition of CD Case Studies. Today, we'll be talking about another legendary MC out of NYC, Brooklyn to be exact. This motherfucker is one of the dopest lyricists of all time, and if he just showed up a little more often, he'd be in the conversation more as probably one of the greatest of all time. I mean, he's got the potential. I think he's one of the greatest of all time, but he just ain't in the limelight like he should be. Even though he does do the acting thing, the producing thing, the activist thing. I mean, he's been around doing a lot of crazy shit, but deep down in the core, he is a true MC. We're talking about none other than the mighty Mos himself, Mos Def, aka Yasiin Bey, aka Black Dante, but deep down in all of our hearts, like I said, that nigga is Mos Def. Don't you try to fight us on that shit, Mos. Mos Def, nigga. Mos Def. So, we're gonna go in the book right here, and we're gonna pull out a couple albums here that just really, that got dope stories behind them, but also just mean some shit to me. So, of course, we're gonna go with the first and one of the finest in his catalog. We talking about none other than Black on Both Sides. Now, this is the debut album from Mos Def. Came out on Raucous Records in 1999, and this is just pretty much what made Mos Def that nigga. And this is pretty much a classic fucking album. I mean, this got joints like Miss Fat Booty, Mathematics, Hip Hop, Brooklyn. I mean, just to name a few, but all these joints, Umi Says, of course. I mean, he did his singing thing, which he can do very well. He's got the rapping thing, which of course he does well. He has some dope features on here. He had Busta on the album. Q-Tip was on here. Kweli, of course. He also had, I can't remember her name. It's on here. Hold on. Venia Mojica. I fucked that up, I know, but she on there too. But the thing about this album that I like is it was mostly Mos on here. Mostly Mos. Fuck it. Anyway, most of the shit on here was done by Mos Def. He kind of held this album down. And the production on here was crazy. He had 88 keys, Ayatollah, DJ Premier, Diamond D. Even he did some shit on here. Yes, Mos Def produces. Most motherfuckers don't know that, but he did. He got some beats on here. The motherfucker was crazy too. But this is a dope fucking album. This is his classic album. Why is everybody's first album their classic album? How does that... Everybody's first album is the fucking classic one. Mine wasn't. Was it? I don't know. No, it wasn't. Fuck that. I tried, but fuck it. Anyway, but this album is fucking crazy, and I found out about it through Kweli. Because Kweli had Mos on there. I was like, oh, Mos Def. So I had to dig up and find out Mos was dropping shit before Kweli was. So I was like, okay, shit. Okay, well, nigga, let me catch up. So let me tell you a story about this album. So, yeah, I found out about this actually I listened to Mos Def on the Quality album. I was like, yo, Mos Def is fucking dope. Like on Gorilla Monsoon Rap. I was like, yo, Mos Def is fucking dope. But I really didn't dig into him until I was watching. See, back then, BET had a show like late night. I forget what it was, but they would play like a lot of like underground hip hop and like old the shit that nobody fucking cared a fuck about in the regular prime time. They pushed that shit in the back of the night so nobody gave a fuck. And so happened, they ended up playing the video for Mos Def's Miss Fat Booty. And I remember that beat. It was just so fucking dope. And then I was like, and she came with the same type game, the type of girl giving out the fake cell phone, the name. I'm gonna just start going with the whole, I can't do it, y'all, take all day. But point is this, when he came in with that, I was like, okay, I already knew about Mos, but this is where I was like, okay, Mos, I'm liking this. And by the end of that song, I was like, okay, I gotta get this fucking album. So, remember the story I told you it was my birthday and I had bought a whole bunch of albums and with the MF Doom Food album? Well, this is another fucking album that I bought that same day. And I didn't crack into this album until a little bit later because like I had to listen to a whole bunch of other shit. I started off with Doom and stuff like that. I think this was like the third album I cracked into, but god damn it, this album is so fucking dope. Like I said, I already named some of the dope tracks on here, and I was bumping this shit, and from the first listen, I knew this shit was fucking classic. Production was crisp, the rhymes was dope. I mean, everything about this shit was just so fucking good. God damn, Mos dropped a fire album. And like, you gotta think, we gotta give it to Raucous back in their heyday. They dropped a lot of fucking crazy records. I mean, they had like Pharoah Monch coming in. They had like Kweli. They had fucking Mos. I mean, they had the Sound Bombing fucking mixtape albums, whatever you want to call it. I mean, they dropped some quality shit during their like prime years. And this is just an example of the type of shit they were dropping. So if you've never heard Mos Def, Black on Both Sides, his debut, you definitely gotta listen to this album because there's so many gems on here, so many crazy joints. This is one of my favorite albums of all fucking time. Like literally all fucking time. I can still listen to this shit today. I might bump this shit afterwards, y'all, because I gotta hear some shit. I gotta hear this shit for real. But yo, definitely check this shit out. One of a kind. Alright, y'all, so the next album I'm gonna talk about is probably his most slept on album and one of his most attention grabbing albums. So like after Mos dropped Black on Both Sides, he dropped The New Danger, and I got that. I didn't get that album because I kind of listened to the whole backlash it got because it was a lot of shit going on. First, the sound of the album was completely different, and then there was a lot of shit about it. And then, so I didn't really get into the album until like much later. And I was like, damn it, because it was some gems on that shit too. So I was kind of mad that I just waited too long to listen to that album. But I never bought the album. I got it online or some shit like that. But then one day, like a while down the road, like I would just went into the goddamn thing. I don't know what store I was in. I was in some store. I think it probably was Best Buy. I was going to Best Buy a lot back in that day. But anyway, I went to Best Buy and I was just like walking down the CD aisle and I just saw some random fucking CD that said Mos Def True Magic. And that was all. It was in a plastic see-through fucking case and it was just this CD with no fucking cover art, nothing. Nada, it was just this shit, and I thought it was a joke. I was like, is this a real Mos Def album or am I being played? And this is pretty much what I like to call Mos Def's Give Me the Fuck Off Geffen album, where he just didn't give a fuck. Like literally, he just wanted to get out of his goddamn contract with Geffen Records, so he had to drop an album, and this is what True Magic was. I mean, it was no promotion for this shit, no videos, no fucking like cover art, nothing. Before like Kanye did that shit and this nigga did it first, like straight up. So I was like, I bought this shit on just for the fact that it was Mos Def. And honestly, this album is no Black on Both Sides or it's no fucking Ecstatic or anything like that. I mean, it's got a couple cool tracks on here. Murder of a Teenage Life is dope. Dollar Day, he used the same beat as Nolly Clap from UTP, but he just put his own spin on it. I actually thought it was pretty cool. Undeniable's cool. He's got production from the Neptunes. He did some producing on here. This guy named Minnesota did a lot of producing on here, but I haven't heard anything from him ever since. DJ Khalil had a beat on here too. So I mean, it's got some moments on this record, but I mean, I think I just respect Mos for the fact that he just blatantly said, this is just the album that I'm doing to get the fuck out of this contract, because 3 years later, he dropped this in 06. 3 years later, he dropped the Ecstatic on Downtown, which was just a fucking fantastic fucking album. So I got his fucking plan. At first, when I heard it, I was like, I don't know what this is about, Mos. And then when the fucking other album dropped 3 years later, I said, I fucking get why he dropped this shit. So this is just the next, but that next album I bought digital as well. So this is the only other Mos Def album that I bought physically, because I was just like, I guess I got encompassed in the fact that the shit was just so obscure and like out there and just there, and it just, I mean, it didn't have no fucking like presence, but in fact it was just a CD in a case, a plastic case. Like I could have did the same shit he did, but he just did it to say, fuck this label, I'm getting the fuck off this bullshit. Take your goddamn album, fuck all that extra shit, I don't need it. But it is a decent album, and if you never heard it, I highly suggest that you at least check it out because there is some cool cuts up on here. But other than that, that's the only other Mos Def physical project I got, because Mos Def hasn't dropped a lot of albums, y'all. Like, he hasn't dropped a project actually since the Ecstatic, which was in 09, and apparently he's gonna be dropping a new album sometime soon under Yasiin Bey finally, so we'll start calling him Yasiin Bey. But until then, nigga, you Mos Def, and I mean, that's how it's gonna be. But yo, that's all I gotta really say. I got another album, I mean, y'all see what I did. I mean, I did Quality, I just did Mos. So in the future, y'all know what's coming next. I'm not gonna say it. Real hip hop fans know what's on the horizon from them two motherfuckers. But yo, I think anybody who is into real hip hop, underground hip hop, lyrics, bars, and if you've not heard any Mos Def is one of the best lyricists of all time. And if he just dropped more often, I mean, he drops so rarely and so spaced out that it's just like his name's not in the conversation enough. But I mean, he should be, because he's just like, he's just one of them slept-on MCs who, like, I think has so much talent, and I'm waiting for his next project whenever the fuck he decides to drop it, because, I mean, you never know when he's gonna drop the shit, but if he does, yo, I'm looking out for it. But yo, that's gonna do it for the CD case study of Mos Def, so tell me what you think of Mos Def, if you're a fan of him, what's your favorite Mos Def album, and so on and so forth, and we're gonna be back again next week with another motherfucker. Who is it gonna be? I don't fucking know. Well, actually, you know I know. But y'all don't know, and that's the beauty of it, because you're like, who's fucking next? I mean, you don't know. It's like it's a mystery. That's the cool thing about this shit. Previous CD case study is on the side somewhere. You know, I don't know where to fucking point half the goddamn time, as well as my single. Check those out. Show them some love. And as always, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, Instagram, links in the description below. And subscribe, button on the screen, button below, CD case studies twice a week, as well as the legendary show Wooly Reviews that's still going strong. Check that shit out too. And everything else, the gaming channel, all that shit is down there in the description below. So until next time, I'll take my leave. Granddaughter, CD case studies, Mos Def, aka Yasiin Bey. I'll call you Yasiin Bey. I know you probably, if you see this, you're gonna get mad like that nigga Granddad, better stop calling me Mos Def, god damn it. Mos Def, I'm sorry. I'm gonna call you Yasiin Bey. Mos Def. I will Mos Def call you Yasiin Bey when you drop a Yasiin Bey album. But until then, Mos Def, nigga. I'm out of here.